Americans love scenery. We want to see it all, from one coast to the next, Mount Rushmore down to the Everglades. So hop into a Chevy Malibu and take the scenic route. It's the car you knew America could build. There's a place where people count on friendships they can trace back generations, where they can count on the same stool at the coffee shop waiting for them every morning. This place is called Glen Ellen, and you can find it in every bottle of Glen Ellen wine. This is craft brewed Herman Joseph's, the smoothest, easiest drinking specialty beer in the entire solar system. And I believe you'll find drinkable in the dictionary right after don't order a beer you can't drink. Zoingo! Boingo! The freestyle pogo with more boing, more bounce. Bounce further, bounce higher with Zoingo Boingo. To see what makes Arrowhead Mountain Spring water different from those other waters, you have to go back to the source. And with Arrowhead, that means going back a little farther and longer than most. Between security challenged and security strengthened, there's one important word: how. And it is the how that makes all the difference to our nation and our world. Lockheed Martin. We never forget who we're working for. What makes Kraft Singles so good? 2 out of every 3 kids don't get the recommended amount of calcium. But with Kraft Singles, they get a good source of calcium and the taste they love. Kraft Singles. Magic every single time. Throw boring overboard with a new real meal from Long John Silver's. A meal worthy of a plate, just $4.99. Only at Long John Silver's. We may not all be geniuses, but we can all do something smart. Introducing the Hyundai 199 Sonata Lease. It's a smart deal on a really smart car.
You know who I feel real bad for is Indians. Everybody thinks they're dead. These motherfuckers are not all dead, all right? With my own eyes, I've seen a gathering of 1,500 Native Americans. They were all gathered in one place. The place is called Walmart in New Mexico. There's Indians everywhere. I've never seen Indians before. I wasn't even sure if they were Indians. It's fucked up, but I asked one of them. It's not nice, but I seen him in the sports section looking at bows and arrows. I had to say something. Excuse me. I don't mean to be rude. Are you an Indian? And he was cool. Yes. Yes, I'm Indian. I had so many questions. So what tribe are you from? I am a Navajo. I said, word. I studied you in social studies. You're a hunter-gatherer, correct? He said, I guess so. That's what you wish to call it. Why? What do you call it? He said, I am an alcoholic. I said, well, what's your name, dog? He said, please. Dog is my cousin. That was a good guess. My name is Running Coyote. What is your name, friend? And that shit caught me off guard. I mean, I didn't want to say my name was Dave to a motherfucker named Running Coyote. This don't feel good enough. He just put me on the spot. I said, huh? My name, what? Oh, my name's Blackfeet. Then I changed the subject. Forget about me. What's going on with you? I want to meet your chief. Why don't me, you, and your chief and your friends get together tonight? We could have a real live peace pipe smoking ritual. We need to celebrate, nigga. I thought you were dead. And he set it up. It was beautiful. It was just like I dreamed. We was all sitting around. Them Indians was beating the drum. Some other Indians came out the back with a long blanket that was folded in half and put it in front of us. Open that shit up, and on the blanket was a long wooden pipe with feathers. And bags of weed were all over the blanket. Chief walked over. The big ones are 50. The little ones are 25.
Good morning. It's Friday, Parenting Friday, November the 14th, and this is The True Conservative. Welcome to all the butchers, bakers, and candlestick makers out there. I'm Ron, your host, and the only true conservative in the United States today. So today, after the Serenity Prayer and the patriotic song of the day, we will have Varney and Company, motivation, meditation, and the collapse of parenting. All that and more when I get back. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I should not change, the courage to change the things I should, and the wisdom to know the difference. Amen. Thank you. Now, Maria Bartiromo, then Stu.
CEO of Walmart, Doug McMillon, will retire in January after leading the company for almost 12 years. He will stay on as an advisor through January 2027. The U.S. CEO, John Furner, will take over and lead Walmart beginning in February. We're 30 minutes away from the opening bell for a Friday. Take a look at where we stand. We're at the lows of the morning with the Dow Jones Industrial Average down better than 300 right now. The NASDAQ also down in the triple digits, as you can see, down 374, 1.5% lower on the NASDAQ. I want to thank you, Todd Pyro and Cheryl Casoni, for being here this morning. Great to have you. And thank you, everybody. We'll see you again tonight on Wall Street and Sunday morning on Sunday Morning Futures. Varney and Company picks it up right now. Stu, take it away.
It's Friday. Good morning, Maria. And good morning, everyone. So what do we have today? More selling like Thursday? A bounce back, maybe? Let's have a look. The Dow is going to be down. This is pre-market trading. You're down about 300 points on the Dow. The S&P down about 66. The NASDAQ taking it on the chin one more time, down 370. I'll call that more selling, okay? Especially in the technology sector. The concern is that the air is coming out of the AI balloon. All the big five technology companies, the Mag 5, they're down again this morning. Look at Bitcoin, really caught up in the selling. It's down to $95,200 a coin. That is $30,000 below the high that it reached 2 months ago. Interest rates down just a little. We have the 10-year now below 4.10. The 2-year yields around 360, below 360, you're out at 357. Gold at $4,047 an ounce, down $140. That's a low, that's down. Silver, $50 an ounce, that's also lower. Oil is down, it is below $60 a barrel. Gas, no change at $3.08 a gallon for regular, but outside the West Coast, most people are paying less, much less than $3 a gallon. On the show today, the president's pushing his affordability program. He has trade deals that will cut the price of coffee, bananas, and beef, along with other foods. His drill, baby, drill policy has cut the price of energy. He's moving to help housing affordability with 50-year loans and portable mortgages. The president is likely to be speaking out on affordability all around the country. Big priority. Homeland Security's Kristi Noem is giving $10,000 bonuses to TSA agents who showed up throughout the shutdown. Air traffic controllers who didn't call out sick, they'll also get 10 grand. The BBC has apologized to President Trump for deliberately editing video to make it look like he instigated the January the 6th riot. Wait till you see the bias in the editing. It was blatant. And you can call her Mandani West. Katie Wilson is the mayor-elect in Seattle. She is a socialist, and she wants businesses and real estate to be owned and run by the community. Mamdani in New York, Wilson in Seattle. All the energy is going left. What will happen to Chuck Schumer? Friday, November the 14th, 2025.
So he's wrong. All the people are jumping up and down, screaming and yelling about, Zohan and this stupid woman on the West Coast are full of it. It's all done for ratings and for clicks and for likes and all that crap. That's all it is. It's just hype, because we are still a nation of checks and balances. Look at Comrade Zohan in New York. He comes out and says, we're going to have free bus rides. And then guess what? The governor of the state of New York says, well, no, we're not. See? Checks and balances. He doesn't have the final say. He acts as though, or speaks as though, he's a dictator and that he is going to rule by decree. He's going to step in and he's just going to write out executive orders. He has to answer to people. He has to answer to his city council. He has to answer to the governor. He has to answer to the state legislature and to the federal government, for that matter. So I'm not going to get all excited about these socialists and start screaming, the sky is falling. I'm not going to be Chicken Little about this. Oh, the sky is falling. Oh, the sky is bull. Checks and balances. What's going to end up happening with Comrade Zohan is the same thing that happened with Bill de Blasio. He ended up being a walrus. He just laid there. And Comrade Zohan's going to do the same thing. He's going to get very little done. He's going to make lots of statements, and he's going to be exhorting. He's going to be doing the usual communist thing of posturing and making lots of speeches. But at the end of the day, after his 4 years is done, New York is going to look pretty much the same as it does today. Back in a minute. No, nonprofit news now. Now, back in a minute. Thank you. Now this is a little something I saw on YouTube, and let's see, it's I guess their channel, 60 Minutes channel, and the title reads Dr. Peter Attia and How to Make Your Final. I don't know, it doesn't finish there. Let me see if we can. There we go. How to make your final decade of life as enjoyable as possible. So let's play a little bit of this, and then we'll have some commentary.
Dr. Peter Attia spends a lot of time thinking about the last years of his life, and yours too. He's declared war on what he calls the marginal decade, the final years of life that are plagued by sickness and immobility. It's not often that 60 Minutes does a story on a physician who has fewer than 75 patients, but the Stanford-trained Attia has become both a pioneer and a star in the growing field of longevity medicine. His stark diagnosis and advice on what to do about it have attracted millions of followers and billionaire patients who pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to hear the words, Dr. Attia will see you now.
The story will continue in a moment.
At 75, both men and women fall off a cliff.
At 75.
At the population level, it's unmistakable what happens at the age of 75.
that's what we're up against. That's what I'm thinking about in the practice is how do I create an escape velocity that gets somebody another 15 years there?
And so is your goal to minimize or essentially erase that marginal decade?
The marginal decade's not going anywhere. We will all have a final decade of life. My goal is to make the marginal decade as enjoyable as possible. The way I explain it to my patients is that last 10 to 15 of your years, if you don't do anything about it, you will fall to a level of about 50% of your total capacity cognitively, physically.
And when people hear that, you're like, I don't want to be that.
That's right.
That's not how I want to spend the last decade of my life.
A lot of people respond that way as though they're hearing this for the first time. Although if you ask them, haven't you seen people in this state? They'll say, well, yeah, I guess I have.
Right. Likely their own relatives.
Sure, their own parents even.
So do you consider yourself a new kind of doctor?
No, I don't think so. What we're doing is creating a framework that fits directly into this idea of how to train for the marginal decade.
That training begins here in Austin, Texas, where Attia is based. This is where his patients go through 2 days of physical evaluation. And where we found, after just a few hours, how intense the 52-year-old doctor and his methods are.
Just show me what you got. Just show me what you got. I think this is the neglected part of medical testing, is how fit are you? How strong are you? All right. How well do you move?
And up overhead.
And in many ways, these tests are even more predictive of how long you're going to live than what I might get out of your blood work.
How do we know that?
The data are pretty clear. When you look at things like cardiorespiratory fitness, when you look at muscle mass, when you look at strength, they have a much higher association than things like even cholesterol and blood pressure.
Dr. Attia and his team say the key indicator of overall health and longevity
Starting to roll now. VO2 in the mid-20s.
is a test called VO2 max.
Everything you got, everything you got.
It sounds like the name of a sports car, but essentially it's a measurement of the size of someone's engine.
Really good maximal test here.
And their capacity to use oxygen to generate power
Really nice.
with their muscles, heart, and lungs.
There you go. That's the hardest part of your day done.
Even though you say I scored fairly well on my VO2 max.
There we go, 42.1.
Okay, that's good. You say I'm still not good enough for Dr. Peter Attia.
Yes, your VO2 max was going to place you at the 85th percentile for women your age, and I think it's worth taking a victory lap. But tomorrow, we should come back and plan on what we're going to do.
You think anyone, whether they're 45 or 65, should be training like athletes, not for the Olympics, but essentially for advanced age?
Absolutely. Life is a sport.
Okay, so they're right there. I'm going to stop it right there. I've watched the whole thing. It goes on for, what does it say? It's a 13 to 17 minute, 13 minutes, I guess, clip. And I'm not going to play all of it. The point I'm trying to make here is when I saw this, immediately the word left-wing, words left-wing, liberal, socialist, immediately sprang to mind. Everything about this screams socialism. It's socialism. It's about possibility thinking. It is about the possibility of not just having a longer life, but really what they're selling here is eternal life. That if you become a socialist and you go the socialist route, anything is possible, including eternal life. The other thing that you need to notice about this is that if you watch this segment, is there's going to be talking constantly about various studies. Studies are very immediate. The left loves the immediate moment. They're Zen-like. In Zen, they say that life is successive moments of now. There's no yesterday, no tomorrow, just now. And that's fine and dandy for people for the very young, the very old, and the terminally ill. That kind of philosophy. But for the rest of us, we have to be concerned with the past and the future because we're the ones that must take care of the very young, the very old, and the terminally ill. In any case, this is the way you know that this is left wing. These are people that are trying to get into your psyche. The left is not your mother's or grandmother's left wing. They're not people that are going out and buying or otherwise getting guns and bombs to go out and blow up the local armory and to start a revolution the hard way. These are people that want to try to convince you that you are a socialist and or want to be a socialist. And once they've done that, then they figure the rest of it's a piece of cake. We'll just vote ourselves into a socialist system. And this is the way they do it with these studies, the cult of expertise. That was another phrase that jumped to mind when I saw this, because again, this doctor is being presented as an expert. And of course, he's written a book. You can get it on Kindle. I forget the name of it, but look up Dr. Peter Attias and you'll see it. And so, in any case, it's the cult of expertise. They make sure to play up his credentials so that you're impressed with his expertise. He's not only a doctor, he was an oncologist, and he went to Stanford. They make sure to play that up. He didn't just go to Cal State, this or that or the other thing. Stanford. So you know this guy really knows what he's talking about. You'll be more likely to take his word for it. But what they never mention here are two words I don't hear in this clip at all, and that is family and history. Because all the things he's talking about in terms of determining how long you're likely to live, you can find out in about 5 seconds by examining your family history. The left doesn't like history. They don't want, because the history of socialism is hell. Summed up in one word, socialism is hell. And that's what the history is shown. So they don't want to look at history. They want only to look at today, right here and now. And that's why they use studies and science. And if you dare to argue with their science, oh, you're anti-science. They start slandering or hinting and suggesting that there's something wrong with you because you're anti-science. The way to deal with that is with history. You say to them, you may have science, but I have 2,000 years of history on my side. 2,000 years of history that say I'm right and you are wrong. So again, they don't want to talk about family because they don't like family. They want to develop a perfect society in which children, parents give birth to a child, they turn the child over to the care of the state, and the child is raised by experts. Thank you. So I was listening to the radio, and they played a clip of Katie Couric asking somebody she was interviewing about the assassination of Charlie Kirk and whether or not he should have been honored in the way he was. Should flags have been dropped to half staff? Should he been transported on Air Force Two, et cetera, et cetera? And obviously, because it's already been done. Okay, when the time to ask should is before the fact. Should he be? Not should he have been? Okay, because it's already done. Doesn't matter. So the obvious of what she's doing is leading the horse to water, hoping that it drinks. And she wants to get the person she's interviewing to say, well, no. And anyway, so way for the true conservative to deal with this, if you're hearing this from somebody, do you really think that Charlie Kirk should have been honored in this way? The best way to answer it is to say, of course I do, because Martin Luther King Jr. was honored in a similar way. So why not Charlie Kirk? And then watch for their reaction, and they're going to be stunned. Then, when they're going to, the obvious response that you should be waiting for is, are you comparing Charlie Kirk to Martin Luther King Jr.? And the response should be yes, because both of them were Republicans, both of them were conservative. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Back in a minute. Thank you. Now, a little bit of motivation.
Before the world wakes up, the battle begins. The battle between what is and what could be. Who we are and who we could become. A battle of opposing wills. This battle isn't fought in the gym, on the track, or in the ring. It's fought in your mind.
You wake up every day and it's you versus you.
The never-ending battle between weakness and discipline. Long-term success versus short-term gratification. Building versus decaying. This battle has no opponent. It is you. Both sides. It is only you versus you.
There's that one voice that we love to hear. It's that soft motherfucker that says, sleep the in. It's okay. It's that calming voice. You want to be hugged and nurtured and all that that says it's going to be okay. Well, there's another motherfucking voice that wakes you up in the middle of the night. It's that demon fucking voice that whispers in your ear that says, get up, motherfucker. You're not good enough. You gotta work fucking harder. You haven't put enough time in. It's that voice you want to run away from. But guess what? It's that voice you need to fucking listen to.
In every choice we make, it's not just the immediate result on the line. Our goals are on the line. Our dreams are on the line. Our freedom is on the line. There'll be bad weather. There'll be late nights.
The circumstances and the situations, whatever they are, they don't control you. You control you. You get to decide. You control your feelings. You control your mood. You gotta rule yourself. It's about identity. You must know who you are. You must know what you are. You must know what you can do, and that you have the power.
You control your destiny and your future. You need to dictate your actions and get the work done, no matter what challenges you face, no matter what your feelings are, no matter how difficult the task. You have to fight. You have to struggle. You have to scrap and claw, and you have to attack. You have to go. Every day, do something that moves you toward that goal, that keeps that goal alive and in sight and in focus. However small or insignificant that step might seem, take it. Do it.
I don't care how small it is. I don't care how minuscule the movement is, but make movement. Move forward and do that every single day, no matter what.
This is about your capacity compared to your performance. It's you against you. Ask yourself how much effort you put into something and measure it against what you are capable of. One step forward, one small victory, one decision to keep going. The more effort you put into something, the more progress you will make. Being easy on yourself doesn't help you or the people in your life. You must commit. You must stay on the path. I'm gonna try to be the best that I can be. The strongest, the fastest, the smartest. The smartest human that I can become. That's what I'm gonna go for.
Pain's inevitable. Suffering's optional. No one's gonna be harder on you than you. Every day you wake up, you should just be thinking to yourself, all right, today it's me versus me.
For you to constantly win, it's all about your mind takes control of you. You have to say, you, I run this motherfucker. I just gotta, this is just gonna suck. Every day is gonna suck. And live like that, to be better. And goes through the water, to the studying, to the running, to losing weight, to how you eat, to how you function as a man. Every day of your life, you're winning these battles. And every day you wake up, it sucks. And when it's over, you feel better. It sucks, you feel better. It sucks, you feel better. Every step I take, I'm like, all right, motherfucker, you're beating the demon again.
You have to put a force on top of your mind and your ideas in order to squeeze out results, in order to free it. You want to not be complacent? You have to do it every single day. Every single day. You want to improve? You want to get better? You want to get on a workout program or a clean diet or start a new business?
You want to write a book or make a movie or build a house or a computer or an app? Where do you start? You start right here. When do you start? You start right now. You have to make sure that your mind doesn't become spastic. When it's suffering, when it's in pain, all it wants to do is find the easy way out, which is usually quit. If you quit, the pain goes away immediately. You gotta give yourself enough energy and fuel in your mind to stay just a little bit longer so you can talk yourself into staying for the whole thing.
And that was a little bit of motivation. Back in a minute. Thank you. Now a little meditation. And that was a little bit of meditation. Back in a minute. Thank you. Now, Dr. Berg.
3 nutritional deficiencies that will make you tired during the winter. Number 1, vitamin D. If you don't have enough vitamin D, your dopamine is going to be lower. Your ability to burn fat as energy will be diminished, and you make less energy. Number 2, B12. Vitamin B12 is needed to make red blood cells. It's also to help you insulate your nerves. People that are deficient in B12 are usually fatigued. They might get cold hands or even brain fog. What's interesting is cold climates increase the need for B12. This can even cause someone to have cold extremities like their feet or their hand during the wintertime. Number 3, magnesium. Magnesium is not just needed to relax your muscles and help you sleep. Magnesium is necessary to make energy in your mitochondria. A lot of people don't connect magnesium with energy. They usually think it's about sleep, but it's more important in making enough energy. During the winter, make sure you have enough vitamin D, B12, and magnesium.
And that was Dr. Berg. Back in a minute. Thank you. And now from a book that's called Good Inside. What's the opposite of understanding? For this argument's sake, it's convincing. Convincing is the attempt to prove a singular reality, to prove that only one thing is true. Convincing is an attempt to be right, and as a result make the other person wrong. It rests on the assumption that there's only one correct viewpoint. And then my question is this supposed to be convincing? Further, convincing has one goal in mind, being right. And here's the unfortunate consequence of being right. The other person feels unseen and unheard, at which point most people become infuriated and combative, because it feels as if the other person does not accept your realness or worth. Feeling unseen and unheard makes connection impossible. Understanding two things are true and convincing one thing is true are diametrically opposed ways of approaching other people, so a powerful first step in any interaction is to notice which mode you're in. When you're in one thing is true mode, you're judgmental of and reactive to someone else's experience because it feels like an assault on your own truth. As a result, you will seek to prove your own point of view, which in turn makes the other person defensive because they need to uphold the realness of their experience. In one thing is true mode, exchanges escalate quickly. Each person thinks they're arguing about the content of the conversation when in fact they're trying to defend that they are a real, worthy person with a real, truthful experience. And again, is this convincing? Back in a minute. Thank you. And now, what does the phrase, if you're explaining you're losing, mean in debates? This was said by Ronald Reagan, speaking of political campaigns. From the perspective of your audience, if you have to explain yourself, you come off looking desperate to convince. As a consequence, you lose the high ground. From a more philosophical perspective, when you have a clear conscience and strong conviction towards the positions you take, your values, truth, and direction, you don't need the opinions or consent of others. As a consequence, you don't need to explain yourself. However, if you yourself are not convinced of the validity and truth of your position, or you can't fully justify your choices, then you continue to expel words in an attempt to create the illusion of certainty. Back in a minute. Thank you. Now the preamble to the Declaration of Independence. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed, that whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it, and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. Back in a minute. Thank you. And now, the collapse of parenting.
As a result, she thinks it's unrealistic to try to be strict and loving. She is mistaken. This particular parent was asking about video games, but the same analysis applies across different domains. If your daughter spends too much of her free time touching up her selfies for her Instagram, or if your son spends all his free time playing video games, then it's your job to unplug the device and get your child or teen reconnected to the world of real experience, whether that experience is talking with another human being face to face, or playing field hockey, or going for a walk in the park. A parent in Sandy, Utah, near Salt Lake City, told me that she didn't allow any of her children to have cell phones, period, right through high school. I just never saw the need for it. this mom told me. And the other kids didn't have a problem with it. Not really a big deal. You know, her mom is the weird mom who won't let her have a phone. But the other parents gave this mom a hard time. They would confront her in public. Some were actually hostile. Why are you making your daughter the odd girl out? Don't you realize this is what girls do today? That's what the other parents would say to her. This mom told me she thought that the other parents were uneasy about how much time their own kids are spending on their devices. Should they take their unease out on her?
No, I'm going to interrupt real quick here. Say no. He's missing it again. Liberal parents. But this is important because this is what liberal parents do. They want to spread the disease. Okay, so if you're doing things the normal way, the liberal parents aren't going to like it. They're going to find out about it. The kids will talk. Parents will find out, and they're going to come. And like he said, they'll confront you, maybe even in public. Okay, so you got to be prepared for that. Back to the book.
The one mom who won't play along, she upsets them because she shows that another path is possible. Whether you live in Utah or California or British Columbia or New York, do what's best for your child. Don't be too concerned about what other kids or other parents might say. Next question. I want my child to be independent. So when she talks back to me or is disrespectful, I try to see that in a positive light as a sign that she is becoming more independent, and I support that. It is never acceptable for your child to be disrespectful to you. That doesn't mean she has to agree with you. It's fine for her to say, I don't agree. I think you're making a mistake. But it is never acceptable for her to say, shut up, you don't know what the you're talking about. Yet that sort of language has become commonplace in the United States and Canada, in affluent communities as well as in low-income communities. Disrespectful language has also become common on the most popular TikTok videos, YouTube videos, and #1 hit songs. Don't allow such language in your house. But independence of thought is useful. How to cultivate that independence without encouraging disrespect? Most of the just right parents I have known are able to accomplish this feat. One strategy revolves around supper time conversation. Long rides in the car are also a good opportunity. Help your kid to find her voice or his voice. For younger kids, it could be by talking about a favorite food or movies that you have seen recently with your kids. Ask them to talk about their favorite movie among those they have seen recently and why it's their favorite. Describe how and why your opinion differs. Explain that two people can disagree about preferences for one movie over another or about taste in food without disrespecting each other or disliking each other. For teens, you might choose a controversial topic from the news. Ask your teen to express an opinion about nuclear power versus conventional power versus solar and wind. Or ask your teen a question about the Palestinian-Israeli conflict. Listen carefully and respectfully to their position. Then state how your opinion differs and why you don't agree with their position. For purposes of this exercise, stay away from personal topics, such as whether your child should be allowed to stay up late at night playing video games. The point of the exercise is to develop the skill of disagreeing respectfully, to build independence without hostility. Once that skill is developed, you and your child or teen will be able to navigate real disagreements with less likelihood of the disagreement degenerating into anger. Next question. I just want my son to be happy. What makes him happy is different from what makes me happy. I'm thinking I may just have to accept that. This mom has a teenage son who typically spends at least 20 hours a week playing video games. For months, she had been trying to restrict his time playing video games to refocus his attention on academics. He's doing okay in school, but not as well as he could be. She kept saying things like, if you want to get into a top college, you need to do better in school. I know you can do better, but you're wasting too much time on video games. You should spend more time on schoolwork and less time playing video games. Finally, one day, he exploded. I don't give a whether I get into a top college, he yelled. I don't want to go to college. I am a gamer. That's worth something. It's worth a lot. I can monetize that. I don't care about trigonometry or Spanish or American history or any of the rest of that crap they teach at school. I don't care. So just leave me alone, will you? Mom was stunned into silence. It had never previously occurred to her that her son might value achievement in virtual online worlds more than he valued achievement in the real world. In the weeks between her son's outburst and her conversation with me, she had come to question her own position. The contemporary world is different from the world of 20 years ago, she reflected. 20 years ago, online video games were barely visible, clunky, and slow to play. Twitch, one of the dominant online venues where gamers earn money, was not launched until 2011. Last year, more than 7 million professional gamers were streaming on Twitch, trying to earn money from their habit. So maybe she should stop worrying about her son's suboptimal academic achievement and instead support him in whatever he wants to do. I just want him to be happy, she said to me more than once. I told Mom that she was confusing happiness with pleasure. That's a common confusion today. A trip to the video game arcade may be a source of pleasure, but it will not give lasting and enduring happiness. This mother's son derives pleasure from playing video games, but playing video games in an online world is unlikely to be a source of real fulfillment. The pleasure derived from a video game may last for weeks or even months, but it will not last many years. In my first-hand observation of many young men over the past 2 decades, the boy either moves on to something else, or else the happiness undergoes a silent, insidious, and malignant transformation into addiction. The hallmark of addiction is decreasing pleasure over time. Tolerance develops. Playing the game becomes compulsive, almost involuntary, and it no longer gives the thrill and pleasure it once did. But the addict can no longer find pleasure in anything else. Pleasure is not the same thing as happiness. The gratification of desire yields pleasure, not lasting happiness. Happiness comes from fulfillment, from fulfilling your potential, which means more than playing online video games. You must limit, govern, and guide your son's involvement with video games. Again, this recommendation doesn't just apply to video games. The same considerations apply if your child or teen says that they are happiest when they are uploading photos to Instagram or scrolling through TikTok. Part of the task of the parent is, and always has been, educating desire. Teaching your child to desire and enjoy things which are higher and better than cotton candy. Video games and social media are the cotton candy of popular culture today. Our popular culture today puts a premium on the satisfaction of personal desire. Live for now, whatever floats your boat. You are trying to teach conscientiousness, honesty, self-control, and responsibility. You are battling the culture. It's a challenge to raise a child in opposition to the culture in which you are living. As columnist David Brooks observed, we all live within distinct moral ecologies. The overall environment influences what we think of as normal behavior without us being much aware of it. The assumption which today pervades American culture is the belief that your child's personal fulfillment is roughly equivalent to the fulfillment of your child's desires. A child, presumably, knows her own desires better than her parents can possibly know. If the key to human fulfillment is the mere satisfaction of desire, then the authority of the parent becomes subordinate to the whim of the child. As I said, one of the assumptions which now drives American culture, as experienced by kids born and raised in this country, is, if it feels good, do it. Inhibitions just hold you back. Whatever floats your boat, go for it. Arthur C. Brooks, former president of the American Enterprise Institute, wrote about the American slogan, "If it feels good, do it." He said that this slogan is good advice if you are a protozoan, not so great if you are a human. We are human beings, not protozoa. Being a human being means more, and should mean more, than mere gratification of desire. Service to others, mastery of the arts, faith in something greater than oneself, discipline in pursuit of a higher goal. All these and more have traditionally been recognized as the proper aims of human life. Gratification of desire, if it feels good, do it, has historically been seen as a distraction, a temptation to stray from the goal of true fulfillment, not the goal itself. The result of the cultural acceptance of this notion, live for now, is the infantilizing of American culture, compounding the cult of youth, which is already one of our greatest weaknesses. The solution is mindfully to create an alternative culture, to build a subversive household in which the dinner table conversation is actually conversation, with the screens switched off, to value family time together above time that kids spend with same age peers.
He gets it right here. He's talking about the infantilization of American culture and of people. Rush Limbaugh used to complain about the chickification, saying that the left is trying to turn all the men into women. No, they're trying to turn all the adults into children, because children are easy to lead. Back to the book.
To create a space for silence, for meditation, for reflection, so that your child can discover a true inner self that is something more than the mere gratification of desire. It's not easy to battle against the culture, to create an alternative culture in your home, but it can be done. Another misconception: if I love my child, then that means I also trust my child, right? If she says she didn't cheat on the test, and if I love her, then I have to trust her, right? You can't have love without trust. This girl was taking a test at school. The teacher caught the girl looking at her cell phone during the test and copying answers from the cell phone. The teacher confiscated the cell phone and sent the girl to the principal's office. The girl insisted that the teacher had made a mistake. The phone just happened to be in her lap, but she wasn't looking at it. So she said. The principal supported the teacher's decision to mark the test a 0. The parents went ballistic. The father charged in like a defense attorney. It's just the teacher's word against the word of our daughter. the father said. Our daughter said she didn't do it, and our daughter would never lie to us. Mom had a more reflective, less adversarial tone than her husband. That's when she said, if I love my child, then that means I also trust my child, right? If she says she didn't cheat on the test and I love her, then I have to trust her, right? You can't have love without trust. Short answer to Mom's question. The rules for love between parent and child are different from the rules between adults. Maybe it is true that love between adults requires blind trust, but that is certainly not true for the love a parent has for a child. The father in this case said, our daughter would never lie to us. I don't know that family well, but I know that father is wrong. Any parent who says such a thing is wrong. Your daughter or son is more likely to lie to you than to anyone else because they don't want to disappoint you. They don't want to let you down. And your daughter or your son wants you to think well of her or him, even if they may value their peers' opinions more highly than yours. Which brings us back to cheating. In the previous chapter, we discussed the rise of cheating among American kids, including among good kids who work hard and get good grades. Among American kids, cheating today is usually no big deal. Many kids believe that almost everybody else is doing it. But many kids also have an uneasy feeling, which happens to be correct, that their parents were raised in a different era, an era in which good kids did not cheat. So the temptation to lie to parents about cheating is very strong. A generation ago, there was an alliance between parents and the school. If the teacher and the principal notified the parents that the student had been caught cheating, the parents would likely impose penalties at home to reinforce the school's discipline. In the United States today, that alliance is in tatters. Today, when a student is caught cheating and the school seeks to impose some semblance of discipline, the parents often act as adversaries, challenging the school's authority. I spoke on this topic at a middle school in Menlo Park, California, an affluent community in Silicon Valley. There were more than 300 parents in the audience. A woman in the front row raised her hand. I called on her. She said, Dr. Sachs, I would like to share a story with everyone here. Last year, I caught a girl cheating on a test, very similar to the situation you just described. I reprimanded her for cheating in front of the class, and I marked her test a 0. But it turns out that her parents are venture capitalists worth millions of dollars. They have friends on the school board. They have donated to the school lots of money. After I reprimanded their daughter, they made some phone calls. About 2 weeks later, I was called into the principal's office. I was told that as a condition of my continued employment, I would have to apologize to this girl in class in front of all the other students. So that's what I did. I can't afford to quit, and I don't want to move. So do you want to know what I did this fall when the new school year began? The teacher continued. I told all my students, go ahead and cheat if you want to. I'm not even going to try to enforce the rules because I have learned that the school doesn't want me to. I hope you won't cheat, but if you do, I won't say a word about it. I have heard stories like the one this teacher told me many times in recent years across the United States, especially in affluent neighborhoods. But usually the stories are whispered to me. Once a teacher actually pulled me into the janitor's closet and closed the door in order to tell me her story. What was unusual about the story the teacher shared in Menlo Park is that this teacher had the courage to tell her story out loud to an audience of more than 300 of her neighbors. Don't say my daughter would never lie to me. In more than 30 years of clinical practice, I have found that whenever a parent says, my daughter or son would never lie to me, you can be pretty sure that the daughter or son is lying to the parent. Another misconception. I'm worried that if I follow your advice, my child won't love me anymore. Read your job description. Your job as a parent is to raise your child to be the best person she or he can be. Your reward comes from knowing that you have done your job well. As wonderful as it is to receive a loving touch or a spontaneous and unasked for, I love being with you, from your own child, receiving such shows of affection can't be your main objective. Many parents are in marriages or long-term relationships which have frayed. Other parents are single parents without a loving partner. The parent without a partner, or the parent whose partner is unloving, may look to the parent-child relationship in hopes of receiving warmth and affection. I understand that. My own mom was a single mom who spent the last half of her life looking for the right partner. She never found him. In my adult patients, I see the loneliness of the single parent, or parents who are stuck with partners whom they no longer love, or who no longer love them. But trying to get your own child to give you the affection you should be getting from an adult partner throws the parent-child relationship out of whack and undermines your authority as a parent. In a relationship between two adult partners, everything is negotiable. Your adult partner is your equal. You can't give orders to him or her, and he or she can't give orders to you. Your relationship with your child is different. You have to set the rules and enforce them, even if your child doesn't agree that vegetables should come before dessert. It's confusing to everybody involved if one moment you're trying to be the affectionate, cool parent, and the next moment you are trying to be just right parent. The most common result is that parents slip from being just right to being too soft because they don't want to jeopardize the affection they hope to gain from their child. Abigail, a mom in Tampa, Florida, shared with me a story which I think illustrates the right priorities. Her 14-year-old daughter, Casey, wanted to go to Cancun for spring break with her friends, but parents were not invited. Her mother pointed out that Cancun has become a popular spring break destination for American college students. And although Casey was 14, she could easily pass for 18. She was a physically mature young woman. How is a young man supposed to know that you are underage? Mom asked. Mom, stop being so paranoid, Casey said. We will be totally fine. We'll stay together. We'll have our cell phones. I don't think it's safe, Mom said. It's totally safe, Casey said. I'm sorry. You're not going, Abigail said. Mom, you're going to totally ruin my whole life. All my friends are going. Everybody's going. You're not going, Abigail repeated. I hate you, Casey screamed. I hate you. You're going to, totally ruin my whole life. Well, Abigail answered, to be honest, sometimes I'm not so fond of you either. But I'm your mother. That means my number one job is keeping you safe. And I know more than you do about the behavior of drunk young men. You're not going. And Casey didn't go. Over my 3 decades as a family physician, I have been involved professionally in a handful of cases of sexual assault. In one case, my only involvement was to sit with Mom after the fact. I knew I shouldn't have let her go, this mom said to me. She's just 15 years old. It was a fraternity party at the college. I knew I shouldn't have let her go. One part of me wanted to shake the mom and yell, "Then why did you let her go?" But of course I didn't do that because I already knew the answer. This mom wants to be her daughter's best friend. And a friend cannot command. A friend cannot say, "No, you're not going to the party. I will not allow it." If you are doing your job as a parent, sometimes you will have to do things which may upset your child. If you are concerned that your child won't love you anymore, that concern may keep you from doing your job. Do your job.
And that was the end of Chapter 9, Misconceptions. And overall, he still doesn't get it, that there's two types of parenting, normal parenting slash conservative parenting, and abnormal or liberal parenting. His book should have been titled The Collapse of Liberal Parenting, because everything so far in the book that he's describing is liberal parenting problems. Thank you. This is Ron, your host, the only true conservative in the United States today, bidding adios to all the butchers, bakers, and candlestick makers out there, and reminding you that skepticism is doubtful.